Hey, viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to So Being Hunted, episode 530 now. We're back with another podcast-style episode. So, I was actually looking at my upload schedule, just to check when this video would actually go out. As of when this video goes out, it's the 1st of January 2023, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, it's not the 1st of January 2023 as of when I record this, though. It's actually mid-December as of when I record this. But, you know, like I sort of explained during the last episode, I'm pre-recording a few episodes in advance because obviously, you know, once my work finishes for December and I get my Christmas vacation, Christmas leave from work and all that, I'll be travelling back up north to be with friends and family, and so I won't have an opportunity to record for at least a couple of weeks. So naturally, I need to make sure I've got plenty of content to go out on the channel in the meantime. So like I say, pre-recording episodes, but by the time this video gets actually published, it will be the new year. It will be 2023. And with you know, whatever that entails. Now, you know, last podcast style episode, I was rabbiting on about Christmas movies, and you know, through that vague subject, I mentioned obviously Muppets Christmas Carol. Then I mentioned Michael Caine, and of course, I said rather humorously about how Michael Caine is one of those actors who, no matter what movie he's in, he always just sounds exactly the same. He doesn't play a character; he just plays himself. You know, I've been thinking about all the films that I've seen him in before, and I can't think of any film or any role that he's played that I'm aware of where he sounds any real sort of different. He just sounds the same all the time. So, like, obviously, when he plays Scrooge in the Muppets Christmas Carol, that one there, when he plays Nigel Powers in Goldmember, he sounds exactly the same. My name is Michael Caine. Or, you know, when he's playing the butler in Batman. I've never actually seen the Batman films, but I know of them, and I know, you know, that Michael Caine plays the butler. Alfred, is he called? Master Wayne. But yeah, he sounds exactly the same there. And of course, Michael Caine classically in The Italian Job sounds exactly the same in there. You know, it's been a long while since I watched The Italian Job, actually, but I can still remember it fairly well. The Italian Job is quite an iconic film of like was it filmed in the 70s? I can't remember the decade, actually, like late 60s, 70s. It's got to be around about there, hasn't it? But yeah, I remember watching it, and it's one of those films which is, you know, it's a rollicking good ride, but it is a film that's very much of its time. And, you know, I hate to be sort of that kind of guy who picks apart classic old enjoyable movies, but one of my sort of abiding memories of of The Italian Job isn't so much of Michael Caine's acting. It's just, I think sometimes the should I say, just the depiction of women in it. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much about that, but if you've seen The Italian Job, you probably know what I mean. I mean, I say if you've seen The Italian Job. I mean, Lord, if you haven't seen The Italian Job, God, you've had so much time already. You've had, what, freaking decades? Flipping heck. So, yeah, Michael Caine. He's my sort of first pick of actors who sound exactly the same, no matter what film or movie they're actually in. So there's him, and as I said in the last episode, there's at least a couple, you know, a couple of other actors who I can think of who have that same thing going on, where no matter what film they're in, they just sound exactly the same. And yeah, I'll kind of go through them. So one actor who I had in mind when I said that was actually Sean Connery, the original James Bond. Sean Connery, he sounds just like this, whatever movie he's in. Whether it's James Bond movies, the old school ones, whether it's playing Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade, whether it's, you know, whatever movie's in. What's the name of that movie, the film where he plays one of the sort of police detectives in, like, 1920s America? Where they're, like, well, not 1930s America, I should say, where they're trying to take down Al Capone. I can't remember the name of the film, but you probably know which one I'm talking about. So I'm sure someone out there in the comments can probably name it. He sounds just like this in that movie as well. My name's Bond, James Bond, second not stirred. I mean, it's a terrible impersonation, but you know what I mean. So, Sean Connery, he's another one who sounds pretty similar no matter what movie he's in. And since I mentioned Indiana Jones, hate to say it, but Harrison Ford, he's another one who sounds pretty much the same, no matter what film he's in. Obviously, Harrison Ford, most known for Indiana Jones, but also Han Solo in Star Wars, of course. You know, I've seen him in films like Patriot Games as well. And what's the is it Air Force One, isn't it? The movie where he plays the president, and then Air Force One gets hijacked and he has to, save everyone aboard it. He sounds exactly the same, whatever movie he's in. It's funny because, a lot of these actors who I've mentioned, they're like, they're big sort of Hollywood A-listers. And you think to yourself, why are you so popular? Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're a good actor, but you're not so much a character actor. You're not someone who can do a whole range of different characters like other actors can. Because, there's certain actors out there who I'm sure, like, whilst I'm trying to think of some off the top of my head, there are certain actors out there who, for example, you wouldn't realise. You'd sort of like start watching a film, you see this really sort of standout, memorable character, and you think, oh, who plays that? Who plays that role? And then you see the credits and you thought, oh, I didn't realise it was that person. But yeah, there are tons of actors out there who are like that as well. But yeah, or not necessarily actors like that who you don't realise it's them at the time, but certainly actors who you realise it's them, but you think, yeah, you've got a real interesting range. You can do a real interesting range of roles. So yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any I can name off the top of my head, and as usual, I'm sort of drawing a complete blank. Oh god, yeah, acting, ladies and gentlemen. Acting is a tough field. And trust me, I know. Because if you've watched any of my Very Red Gmod videos, you know I'm a terrible fucking actor. At least a terrible voice actor, that is. But, god. No wonder there are entire schools, drama schools, theatre schools, for actors to attend in order to perfect their craft. I'm trying to think, are there any other actors or actresses who I think of who, no matter what film they're in, I always feel like they are just playing themselves. And there is one, and this may be a bit more of a divisive choice. I know some people might disagree with me on this one, and admittedly, I don't think she's quite. So it's an actress. It's an elderly actress, and she's been in a few things that I've seen before. And admittedly, I don't think in her case it's quite to the same degree as some of the other actors I mentioned, like Michael Caine and Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. But I do feel to some extent she can sometimes be a bit like this. Judi Dench, old British actress, national treasure and all that. Yeah, because obviously she's, most probably well known for playing M in quite a few of the more modern James Bond movies. But, I've seen a few things with her in before, other stuff. Like Tea with Mussolini, stuff like that. And she's another actress who I feel like she doesn't really sort of play roles. I feel like sometimes she is just sort of, it's her. It's Judy. It's Judi Dench, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not to say she's not. That's not to say she's a bad actress. She can act. It's just that she's instantly recognisable. It's not so much that she acts different roles. It's more just that she's just there, kind of herself, just in costume as a character. That doesn't really make any sense. What I'm rabbiting on about. People are probably like, what the fudge are you talking about there, Red? You sound like you are spewing words right out of your backside, and to be honest, I probably am. But yes, of that I'm well aware, and I will happily concede that point. That's not a hill that I'm prepared to die on to defend my argument, ladies and gentlemen. I'd be quite willing to surrender it. Alright, put that in there. There we go. Oh god. But I'm sure, you people in the comments can probably name actors and actresses who, no matter what movie they're in, they sound the same. I was about to say Shia LaBeouf as well, but having said that, I haven't really seen a great many things with Shia LaBeouf in them, so actually I'm not as confident saying that one. Obviously the most notable example of some of Shia LaBeouf's work that I've seen probably would be Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm trying to think what else I've seen him in, though, and there's nothing that's coming to mind. Yeah, which is actually why, I'm not going to go too much into detail about that particular actor. The only thing that springs to mind in terms of what I've seen Shia LaBeouf in is that bloody YouTube video clip, just do it and all that. But that's not him acting, that's just him trying to be motivational, I guess. Oh, yes. I'm really racking my brain. Is there anyone else I can think of? Not that really springs to mind at the moment, but I'm sure that once I stop recording this video, once I eventually wrap up, I'll probably get to a point where I suddenly think, oh, I could have talked about that actor or that actress as well. I'm trying to think, what about British actors? Any other British actors? What about Bill Nighy? Yeah, I've seen Bill Nighy in a couple of things, like Hot Fuzz, obviously Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I feel like sometimes Bill Nighy, a little bit, is sort of just kind of the same, or is very similar, regardless of what TV show or movie he's actually in. So I suppose you could say maybe he's another one? Possibly? Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll go with that. What about Brian Blessed? Brian Blessed, actually. Brian Blessed is just Brian Blessed in whatever he's in. Booming voice, Shakespearean actor. You know, he can't help himself. And that's not just in TV dramas and movies. That's also on, you know, just like TV panel shows as well. He is just him. Like, you watch clips of him on things like Have I Got News For You, QI, stuff like that. He is Brian Blessed. Gordon's alive. That sort of thing. Oh man, yeah, Brian Blessed. But we love these actors. We do love them because they're humorous sometimes. They're very entertaining in their own sort of ways. Oh dearie me. All right, you know what? I think I've probably exhausted this topic of conversation as far as I'll go with it. So you know what? We'll probably wrap this episode up here because that'll do for another quick sort of Surrey Being Hunted episode that can just go in the queue and keep me going over the sort of Christmas New Year period until I'm eventually back down south, safely ensconced in my apartment and ready to do some fresh recordings for the new year. So I hope you enjoyed, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments any actors or actresses who you think should be added to my list. Facebook and Twitter links down below, along with a link to my propagandist channel for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, and like it, of course, always appreciated and all that jazz. But on that, this is General Red signing off. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, maybe we just go out here then. Okay, let's do it. Just got to keep our eyes peeled for any sparkly bits. I think that door. Okay, no. It's a very little ticket printing machines there, card readers. Let's go upstairs. Uh-oh. This stone. What's happening? Oh my god. That's a lot of dancing Monokumas, okay. Yeah, party.
There's way too many of them. Let's go back.
Okay, now we're going back. We have to go through the other exit, don't we? I mean, they could have, just join the party.